I'd like to welcome everybody to another episode of House of Bricks Live. It's March Madness, my favorite time of year, where I actually try to shut down and watch as much basketball as possible. But we're not here to talk hoops. You may have seen some of our initiative about What the Truck that started last summer. We've gained significant momentum, have some great doors opening up. And today I have a very special guest. He's putting on an amazing event in Miami Memorial Day weekend, the Miami Air and Sea Show. And as we've talked about, this combination of the boardroom and the battlefield, right? Getting best in class business people together, combining them with veterans, and really share that passion for our country and those that lay down their lives for us on a daily basis, ways to honor them, empower them. And Mickey, I'd like to welcome you to House of Bricks Live.
Well, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to have a chance to spend some time with you.
No, it's going to be great. And I used to live in Miami back in the early 2000s, and they had the hip hop festival, which was fun. But seems like you've turned that weekend into something special. So tell us a little bit more about how the Miami Air and Sea Show started and what your overall vision is.
Right. So we created the Hyundai Air and Sea Show to bring back the true spirit of Memorial Day. And like you said, it had been a commercialized holiday. Everyone's out buying a mattress and buying a car and having a barbecue. And there's 1 million people that have died for our freedom in our country over the last 250 years. So what we did is bring back an event called the National Salute to America's Heroes, and it includes the Hyundai Air and Sea Show. And it takes place each year on Memorial Day. This will be our 10th year. It's the largest gathering of military equipment in our country. And as much as it's great to see all this equipment, the tail numbers, the serial numbers, and turning a lot of fuel into noise, it's really about the Social Security numbers. It's about the people. You know, these people sacrifice for us. They volunteer in our military. There's no draft. And these people join our military, and they're the ones that are out there at the tip of the spear protecting our freedom. And Memorial Day is really special because, like I say, there's 1 million people. You know, you think about that, that's kids that don't have parents and parents that have lost children and siblings and all. And these people have given their lives so that we can do just what we're doing and have the freedom to do what we do. So the holiday was designed to say thank you, and we've created quite an extravaganza to do just that, say thanks to everybody.
No, I appreciate that. And from what I've learned about the show, I mean, it's incredible. I'm excited as can be to be down there and have our truck present. But there's a lot of events out there. People, like you said, Memorial Day weekend, it's barbecues, pool parties, going to the beach. What's going to make people want to come to this event, and why is it different?
Well, every holiday, you know, has a signature event except for Memorial Day until we started this. You know, you got the Macy's Day Parade on Thanksgiving. You've got the ball drop in New York. Everyone does something on 4th of July. And, you know, we just felt that if we could put together an opportunity for you to come out and say thanks to our military and first responders and those that are, you know, sacrificing. So what we've done is down there on Miami Beach, which is, by the way, just a little history on Miami Beach. It's where the entire World War II is where our whole Army Air Corps trained. Right there on those beaches where we put on the event, right there in South Beach. It's arguably one of the most famous beaches, you know, in America, if not the world. And the idea was just to say, to bring all this equipment out there for free. So there's about 1 million people that come out. We have a 5-city block display village that about 40,000 people a day walk through for free and see all the military equipment. We have an action zone there where Monster Energy is jumping their motorcycles, and they're jumping a couple hundred feet, you know, doing backflips and everything. We have a kids zone, which is Nicholas Children's Hospital, where there's a whole area with rock climbing. There's a food court brought to us by Mission Barbecue, so everyone has barbecue on Memorial Day. But then the rest of it is all military displays, and there's everything out there from tanks to helicopters to cockpits you can sit in, from fighter jets. And all of our equipment is out there to be seen, and you get to meet the people. And then, of course, the show itself, pardon me, is Saturday and Sunday from 11:30 to 4:30. This year it's May 23rd and 24th. And it's nonstop. You know, what makes this show different than any other show anywhere in the world is that this is all training exercises. These are all capabilities exercises. There's no civilian aerobatic acts like you see at your normal air show. You know, they have to be time over target within 6 seconds. And we have planes coming from all over the country. We have refuelers up in the sky. And This last year we brought in a thing called the Freedom Flight, never been done before. You have the B-2 stealth bomber, the B-1, the B-52 in a tight formation. And next to it is all of our fighter jets off the wings. Never been done anywhere, let alone down a public beach. We call it the Freedom Flyover. And, we had to reroute air traffic everywhere from Key West to Tampa, Florida, to make that happen. So, those are the types of things that you see out here that you would never, ever see. All these demonstrations, full-blown assaults on the beach, air sea rescues, pararescues, So there's a lot going on, multi-dimensional jigsaw puzzle.
No, I can't imagine. I've done a couple events for my company. I can't imagine the logistics that have gone into to pull something like this off. And we're also helping, on the sponsor side, just kind of raising awareness of the event. From a business standpoint, what can sponsors expect from this? Obviously, it's a great cause, great mission, getting behind our country, but they are a business at the end of the day. So what, is their return on investment? What are the type of people that come out and so forth?
Well, I'm glad you asked. That's our background, is creating multidimensional marketing programs for corporations. Everyone has a different objective. This event is a platform that can be used to accomplish those objectives. So the corporations don't get lost in a sea of sponsors. Every sponsor has their own activity. So if it's the Nicholas Children's Hospital Kids Day, Kids Zone, if it's the Monster Energy Action Zone, if it's a party on Thursday night, for all the performers called the Takeoff Party, that we're looking for a sponsor for someone who just wants to entertain all the 1,000 military that come in town along with the public. On Friday night, we have the Salute on Espanola Way. It's a beautiful pedestrian street down there. We have music down there. Again, food and beverages. We're looking for sponsors. So every sponsor, and we use that with our radio advertising and really millions of dollars of media that push that these corporate sponsors are patriotic and wrapping themselves in the flag and part of our narrative of saying thank you. And yet they get a great deal of media, a great deal of exposure. Some want hospitality. We've got only a few left, but we've got these corporate hospitality chalets. And, for 50 people, all catered, open bar, everything. And then we also have, it's right at Show Center, right at the landing zone, where both the British jump teams are coming in, and Golden Knights will be there. This year, of course, you have the Thunderbirds flying and all the demonstrations. So everyone will be out there, and corporations that want to entertain clients or their employees can have a hospitality area. We have a smaller one called the Cabana for 14 people. I think there's 2 or 3 of those left right now. They'll sell quickly, but we're looking for anybody who wants to get involved. And you can just go to usasalute.com and see all the opportunities that we have. If you're looking to be a partner, you go to usasalute.com/partner. But, you can also have the displays, like you're bringing your truck out, 5 city blocks. Corporations put a lot of displays out there where they can sample, sell, and showcase their products or services. So it's a marketing machine, and everybody uses it however they need. We just have a private meeting with whoever wants to get involved and say, listen, let's create something that really works and gets you a lot of bang for the buck.
Yeah. And these days, right, everything seems to be going digital, like coming out of COVID. I was on so many Zoom calls, I almost ended up in the mental institution trying to run a team of 200 people on Zoom. But, nothing from my perspective really beats being in person. Is that something kind of you've seen and why you're doing this event?
Well, it's really true. Experiential is still something that's very, very, very important. It's a chance for people to interface and do it for real. Everyone's been looking down at their phones and all, but this is a chance to come out. It's a family-friendly event. It's wholesome, it's patriotic. It's like I say, it's free to come out, and it's a chance to just be out, at the beach on Memorial Day weekend with literally billions of dollars worth of equipment, coming down this beach for you to see. It's awe-inspiring. When you're out there, it's sort of like trying to describe a fireworks show. Unless you're there, you can't really explain it.
Right.
It's pretty incredible. And of course, for me, it's a calling, and for our team, it's a calling. We believe we're doing the right thing for the right reasons. I do want to tell you that our title partner in this thing has been Hyundai Car Company. And you say, why Hyundai? I mean, a Korean car company, right? They authentically care about our military. Our military in the Korean War, really it was an amazing, it's called the Forgotten War, but truth be told, Hyundai probably wouldn't exist if it didn't account for the war. And so they really do appreciate our U.S. military and everything that our country's done for them. So they've been a great partner of ours, and every partner, actually, for that matter, that's been part of this with us has been with us, since the beginning. And everyone who joins now that wants to be a partner, they always end up staying with us because we really want to make sure we over deliver for our corporate partners. And then, of course, for the military, we've taken recruiting from last in the nation to most productive recruiting in the United States. So again, everybody who's involved with us has a different reason. The city, as you were talking about earlier, we transitioned the entire city. It was a pretty ugly weekend with a lot of arrests. 1,000 arrests a weekend. People were getting shot. So the city had asked us to come in and create a family-friendly event, and wholesome and generate community spirit. And so now it's transition the whole city. It's incredible. I mean, everyone's out there with their family, their dogs, their kids, their everything. And it's just a beautiful weekend down there in Miami Beach. So the city, it showcases it in a very positive light right now. And
yeah, I mean, you couldn't. I may be biased having lived down there, but you couldn't have picked a better venue than Miami Beach and Memorial Day weekend. And like you said, something that honors our country, right? Honors those that serve, and it's something you can bring your family to and have a good time. But also, again, just showing that support to our veterans. And I have a guest I'm going to bring on. So we were just in Miami last weekend, and I don't know if you know this or not, but I was the chaplain for the Miami Heat back in the 2005, 2006 championship era. So have some good relationships still with the organization. And they honored Josh Kent, the veteran driving the Raptor before the game. And it was his first NBA game. So talk about being, ruined for life of ever having that same experience again. But, Miami Heat always do things at the highest level. So, Paul, if we want to bring on Josh, love for him to meet Mickey.
Hey, Mickey, good morning, buddy.
Hey, good morning, Josh. Listen, thanks for all you do, not only in your current position, but everything you've always done, man. Thanks for serving our country.
Thank you, brother. I genuinely appreciate that. And Adam, thanks for the opportunity, buddy.
Yeah, and he really is in law enforcement. This isn't some AI version of Josh. So
yes, the green screen.
He's gotten a phone call. So, if he does have to go off screen, we'll know why. It's no disrespect to you, Mickey, or what we're doing here. But Josh, just give us a little bit about your background, and you can even talk a little bit about the experience with the Heat, and then just being a part of this Air Sea Show.
Yeah, absolutely, bud. So started in law enforcement in 2000. Obviously, 2001 September 11th kicked off, and 2006-7 time frame, I enlisted into the U.S. military as an infantryman, and airborne school. Had a chance to try out for what they call the long walk to go Army SF, and made it. Oddly enough, you say the first basketball game was how it went, but the very first 15 times I ever flew in an airplane, I jumped out of it with a parachute. So, let's get our feet wet kind of deal.
0 to 100.
0 to 100. Yeah. Full retard. Bam, if you can say that. But took the long walk, made it, and I spent 18 years in the regiment. About two years ago now, I had a parachute accident, burned in, crushed my lower back, got fixed thanks to Return to Duty and the Green Beret Foundation. They helped me out tremendously. The good Lord pointed me in the right direction, and I started shooting for the Army Marksmanship Unit up out of Fort Knox. So that's my role. I'm still in the Army, but I shoot as a competitive marksman now. But deployments to Afghanistan, Iraq, Africa, I've had a absolute awesome time. I've made relationships that will be there till the day that I die. With the brothers that have served with me, I have nothing but the utmost respect for them. It's when people who don't know each other share that kind of trauma bond, that kind of experience. It really kind of locks you in. You start figuring out exactly who that person is because they're under the same amount of pressure you are. And you start really seeing like the character of men and women in that. And man, I've been absolutely impressed by the people that I've served with, and absolutely honored to serve with them. And then, you know, the Miami Heat game this past Saturday, dude. I've never been in an environment where that many people have come up to me, like went out of their way and like, hey, thank you. Genuinely appreciate all you've done. It was a humbling experience because I haven't seen that kind of patriotism since like the 2006 2007 era. Like I remember, and we've had this conversation before. It's like early on in GWAT, people were like, hey man, where are you going, dude? Be safe, we love you, you know. So I haven't experienced that kind of patriotism in a location in more than a decade. So it was very humbling, and my wife and I, we couldn't be more appreciative and thankful, and it was humbling, to say the least.
Yeah, and imagine that was only 18,000 people, right?
Yeah.
And people that just happened to cross our path. First of all, the Miami Heat staff, I mean, they were
Yes.
just incredible,
Awesome.
escorting us
Absolutely
in,
awesome.
fed a meal, took you courtside while they
Yeah.
warmed up. And it was just, best in class.
Yeah. Big shout out to Steve. He was awesome.
Steve was awesome. But Mickey, when you hear this, and I'm sure you hear it a lot at the event, what emotions run through your mind? Um,
Well, I'll tell you to Josh's point. You know, we should be putting you on a commercial, Josh. The truth is that that's what people don't know about our military is the camaraderie and the core values.
Yes.
And you know, people look at you like, you know, hey, yeah, you're great. You're going to defend our country. But the other side of it, you know, if for these young kids today, you really should be considering joining the military. And you know, people, oh, what do you mean? You know, why would I want to do that? For exactly the reason Josh said. It's incredible the life that you end up having. You know,
Yeah.
it's just an incredible experience. The education you get, the career training that you get, the bonding of people, your value structure. So you know, for us, when we created this project originally, you know, it was all about helping the military with retention and morale and reconnecting with the American public in a positive way, and of course for recruiting. And like I said, it's been a huge recruiting thing coming out. But you know, that's exactly the story. It's someone what Josh just said who's been in there who says, "Man, this has been life changing for me. You know,
Yeah.
this has been one of the great things of my whole life." I mean, you know, so you know, I really highly recommend that you know anyone who's listening or anyone wants to come out to our event really spend some time with the people like Josh. You know, people who are in our military that have said that have signed up and done this. You know, we have a huge swearing ceremony, a couple hundred, one of the largest in the country, right there on our landing zone on Saturday, where these young kids raise their right hand. You know, we have a top senior leader, and you talk to these kids, and you know they're starting out on a whole new life path. You know, and then you look at the back end of it, and you look at what Josh's gone through in his life. You know, and what it's done for him. So. You know, it's exciting for people to come out and learn about our military. I think it's very important for us to pay tribute to those that serve and I think it's great that people like at the Heat game said thank you to Josh, you know, and people like that, and that's what happens out at our event. You know, we've just built a platform for people to come out and say thanks. You know, so it's a very positive experience out there. It's exciting.
yeah, and what you just said, Mickey, is exactly what we're trying to do with What the Truck and House of Bricks, which is combining that battlefield and the boardroom, right? Like veterans are not a liability. I mean, we've invested millions and millions of dollars in them on the front end, but it's how they return home, what opportunities are available, and so connecting, business people that can make an impact with veterans like Josh, and then you've created this platform where people can experience it at scale. What have you seen as kind of other than feeling honored for a veteran feeling honored and respected? What are some of the other takeaways that the veterans get out of this?
Well, first things first, back to corporate America. Anyone who's going to hire someone, if you're hiring someone who's not a veteran, when you have a chance to hire a veteran, you're making a significant mistake, because the work ethic, the values, all of the things that you learn in the military. I mean, you talk about a veteran not being a liability. I mean, a veteran is the ultimate asset, ultimate asset for anybody that you're going to go to work. I have not met a veteran, okay, that is not a great asset for a corporation. So starting with that, I think, anybody who's doing any hiring, if you're in the business community, you really should look to that pool of people that are coming out of the military without question, because they're handling a lot of responsibility, and they're handling it when they're young, and so when they come out after that amount of experience and wisdom that they've gained, I think that's a great asset for you. As far as the show, it's like I say, it's multidimensional, right? And the reason I say that is, if you're a grandfather bringing your grandchild down to the show, it's historic. You're looking at it from a whole different perspective than one of these techies who wants to do it for real, who's wrenching on the front wheel of his dirt bike right now and could be wrenching on the front wheel of an F-22. You know what I mean? Or a guy who's playing his video game right now who could be going into the Space Force and be moving satellites and drones, for real. So, and in each of the services, there's things, the Coast Guard, obviously, people out there running around their little speedboats. I mean, you could be doing some really cool stuff, if you're in the Navy, the Coast Guard. So I just think that there's a lot of opportunities for people to learn about our military and to understand the human side of our military as well as the technical side. So any reason somebody comes out there, otherwise some people just go out because it's a great day at the beach, with entertainment. Yeah. But for whatever your reason for either getting involved with our show from a corporate perspective, or whether you want to get involved in it from a spectator perspective, there's something for everybody. There's absolutely something for everybody.
And you may not know this, but our vision with the truck is turning it into a mobile podcast studio. So what you had talked about, just experiences, right? That's how humans have connected since the beginning of time, through storytelling and shared experiences. So we're having this conversation over Zoom, but imagine, right, at the Air Sea Show, we'll have our truck, the podcast studio, and just giving veterans and business people the opportunity to just tell their story. And you never know what connections, what relationship capital will grow from that. And so we're early on, but we have a big vision, just like you. And we really appreciate you having us out there and creating that opportunity to leverage your platform.
Well, we're excited to have you out there, and it'll be a great experience for everybody involved. Come over, and Josh, you'll be out there as well with the truck, right?
That's right, brother. Sure will be.
Man,
Wouldn't miss it.
It's gonna be nice and warm out there. Remember that. Be drinking a lot of Monster Energy, and So, but in any case, listen, I'm excited, guys, for you to be out there with us. This year's getting bigger and better. The Air Force is bringing a bunch of cadets in as well, and they're going to want to be part of. You can probably put some of them on your podcast and get some recruits if you want, that type of thing. Whatever you're doing out there, if you're going to be doing any kind of broadcast or whatever. But if nothing else, we're going to promote you. You're going to be all over our PA system to have people come over to you. We'll put you up on our radio. We have 2 live radio broadcasts down here. Kiss Country's broadcasting the whole event live, so is Power 96. So they'll be out here broadcasting, and then we're doing our national television specials. I do want to just say, for anybody who's listening, we do have 2 1-hour specials, and I'd really encourage you to try and watch them. One is called Gold Star Tribute. I brought in Peter Berg, who did Mile Marker 22 and Lone Survivor and all, and Battleship, and he's arguably one of the more prevalent producers and directors. But we produced a show called Gold Star Tribute. It tells the story of 6 people that have been in our military and gave their lives, told by their families and their teammates. And it's over Memorial Day weekend. You can tune it in. The other is our highlight show over 4th of July. We're really excited about that. We take all the highlights of the entire weekend. It airs across over 85-90% of the country, and it's syndicated. And down here it'll be on Fox, and in New York it's on ABC, and LA it's NBC. So it's a great show, and we'll make sure that your truck is included in that television special.
Oh, thank you. And as we wrap up here, Mickey, I know I always make people do this. So if there's a sponsor listening, how do they find out how to get involved? Because at the end of the day, you need money, you need sponsors to put on these kind of events. But we'll give you the 1-minute commercial opportunity, and I'm making you do this. You're not selling. So
Yeah, well, no, it's real simple. If anybody who has any interest in learning about what our partnerships are down here, it's usasalute.com and then /partners. And that tells you what all the opportunities are. If you just want to learn about the event, just go to usasalute.com. But if you're looking about what the actual opportunities are, whether it be display or hospitality or sponsorship, naming rights to any of these activities we talked about, and certainly we really do want them, to get involved. It's all done through relationships. And we appreciate this opportunity to be able to say that, because if we can make this work for you, we will make it work for you. And if it's not right for you, then I don't want you involved, But if it is right and you want to hear more about it, please give us a call, or go to our website and there's information on how to get in touch with us right there. Up front, I mean, you guys can call me on my personal cell phone. It's I'm out dealing with it. We were just up at Fox, and I was with Sean Hannity, and I was up with Brian Killsmead, and now it looks like Fox might want to cover this entire event and carry it live. So that's exciting for us as well. So for corporations that want to get involved, and we have significant reach, significant outreach, and we can make it work for them. So thanks for giving me a chance to say that. We have a bunch of activities left and a couple chalets left, and they'll all sell, but it'd be nice to have them come through this podcast.
Yeah, and like I said at the beginning, Mickey and I have kind of run in the same circles in South Florida, so I know anything that he does is best in class and with integrity. So if you're a business out there, reach out to Mickey. You can reach out to me. I'll connect you with his team. But the more sponsors we can get behind us, the more people involved. And if you're not going to sponsor, at least come out and support the event. You don't really realize. It was even eye-opening for me to just see at the Heat game, just a couple people coming up to Josh. Like, I was watching just the impact of, what his service to our country meant to him and also to other people. So I can't imagine seeing this at scale in Miami Beach. So we will be praying for good weather that weekend, but you can usually count on Miami to deliver good weather. So Mickey, I want to thank you for joining House of Bricks Live and supporting What the Truck and our movement to connect the battlefield and the boardroom. Josh, as always, thank you for your service and now serving us in law enforcement. So can you pick an easier profession, please? Like accounting or
I was looking for a job with UPS. What can Brown do for you?
That's right.
Kind of deal.
Exactly.
Thanks again, Josh, for all you do. Really, I appreciate you doing what you do for us, man. Keeping everybody safe.
Thank you, my friend. Love you, bro.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Thanks for having us.
See you.
Bye-bye.